Good evening, Tallahassee, and welcome to FSU Weather Tuesday edition. We've got a lot to get into today with severe weather out in the plains, and we will get to that here shortly. Currently 85 degrees over Doak Campbell Stadium and partly cloudy. You can see that sunset is starting to start. It should be a nice sunset out tonight. But as for current temperatures, 83 in Tallahassee, 85 in St. Mark's, and 81 in Apalachicola. So it is still hairy than a hairy farm llama outside. So definitely need to look out for that. But hopefully it'll cool off later on here in the week. Current Tallahassee radar, clear skies, so really nice conditions right now. And as for tonight, major severe weather outbreak, warm, dry weather dominating, and rain chances and cooler weather to return. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Thank you, Melissa, for that lovely description of what we can expect this evening. It definitely has been a warm start for today, definitely warmer than those hot, fuzzy farm llamas, but it's definitely been a quite enjoyable day overall, quite a bunch of sunshine. But there is something that we will be talking about on this show that isn't as sunny and fun, and that is the severe weather that we'll be expecting to see in Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas later this evening. It's quite a tone to set for this transition season as we see temperatures start to fall, and of course as a low pressure system starts to make its way through the Great Plains, usually that can spell some severe weather, and tonight that risk is a lot for tornadoes. It's definitely some big risk that we'll have to take into account, and that's what we're going to be covering on tonight's show. That and of course a lot of the other national weather that we can expect throughout the mountains, which are seeing snow, and of course the west that's still seeing some fire weather. And here in the southeast, we're expecting a nice cool down come this weekend. But we'll talk all about that and all about the awesome conditions that we've experienced today on this show. And first, we'll start off talking about our local weather.
That's right. Thank you, Chandler. So currently over at Doak Campbell Stadium, it's been a really nice day outside. The sun is getting ready to set over our lovely football stadium as we speak. And currently right now it's 85, partly cloudy, as I said. North component to the wind coming out of the north at 6 miles an hour. That's helped to keep our dew points a little lower than we've actually seen recently, which is actually a huge relief. It feels much more comfortable than it has been. Really not much to show on the Tallahassee radar right now. Any of those little sprinkles you see right there, that's really just ground interference. Nothing is actually falling out of the sky, so definitely a relief to see after the rainy week we had last week. As for the temperature almanac today, we had a slightly above average day temperature-wise today for both our high and our low, but thankfully nowhere near, actually pretty close to near our record of 93 set back in 1985, but thankfully nowhere near our record low of 39 set back in 2000. That's really winter, if you ask me, not something you want to see during these fall times around here, but that will be coming as we transition into winter. Currently right now, temperatures are generally in the low 80s, maybe even a touch below at Thomasville at 79. In the hot spot is Sumatra down here at 87. So generally a nice day out there, nice feel as we have these dew points around Tallahassee sitting in the mid-60s. Even though we do have a couple of warmer dew points, 70 and 71 down near the coast, and 73 and 70 off to the east, Monticello and Madison. So even though they're feeling a little muggy, we are not, thank goodness. As for the future radar, not really much in the way of showers. A few clouds rolling in overnight, but really not much to show on the radar as we go through the next 24 hours. So that's a good sight to see. Tonight's forecast generally in the mid to upper 60s, so quite seasonable for this time of the year. And tomorrow's forecast in the mid and upper 80s, so something we generally like to see this time of year. 65 is our overnight low, and tomorrow we can expect to see temperatures in the upper 80s. And as for the week ahead, we actually do have a little bit of relief from this heat coming for next week. Staying hot this week, but as we trail off at the latter part of the weekend, we do have a little bit of a cold front coming in, which is definitely a welcome sight to see as we continue fall around the area.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Evan. It's quite a lovely sight to see. These blues, these 40s, they'll try to make their way over here. Of course, we won't see 40s yet this time of year, but we will at least see a cool down into the 50s and as our lows, and then up to the 70s as our highs. 85 is where we're sitting at currently, though, and it's quite warm overall in the southeast, but cool in the mountains. And Dew Point also tells another similar story. Pretty binary weather, as you can see, very dry conditions across most of the west, but then we see some moisture starting to creep its way into Oklahoma and Kansas. That will help with that severe weather event tonight, really spark up some of these storms as we see later on this evening around 7 p.m. And also we have some dew points that are pretty muggy in the southeast as well, but no rain associated with that. In fact, we see some rain here in South Texas and into portions of western southeast, and making the way into the mountains and into the Great Plains. You can see more of that moisture making its way through Kansas, Nebraska, and into the Dakotas, even a little bit of snow, as we'll talk about here shortly. You can also see a low pressure system here that's what's going to drive that severe weather this evening. And it's also helping provide some of that snow coverage in the northern Rockies. Taking a look at this little system right here, though, we have some of this rain associated with the coast, just bringing some of that moisture along the Seattle area, even a little bit of mixture of snow in Vancouver. And speaking of snow, you can really see some of that snow in Montana and in places like Wyoming, and speaking of which, Rapid City, where in the Black Hills, the South Dakota, they're seeing quite a decent amount of snowfall for October. And transitioning down to the southern Great Plains and the Great Plains, you can see some of these showers that were a little bit severe earlier today, but they're not firing out as much currently. However, we expect later on tonight that we'll see some of those showers and storms start to make their way, like this one right here. It looks small, but it is quite dangerous. And looking at the southeast radar, we can see that there are some showers also associated with Florida. And taking a closer look at Texas, you can see this flash flood watch associated with these training lines of storms that are making their way along I-35, crossing I-10. You also see some more of those storms training their way across Del Rio. Taking a wider look at these watches and warnings, you can also see some fire weather warnings in California and into Denver, or south of Denver into southern Colorado. But you can also see the severe weather watch and also the winter weather products that are associated with this low pressure system that I pointed out earlier. And then, of course, the big story for tonight is the severe weather. We can see that we have a 4 out of 5 chance for some severe weather, which includes tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds. Taking a closer look into this storm outlook, you can see parts of Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas really seeing those possible severe weather issues. And for tonight, you can really see these 70s and 30s, really just a huge divide across the continent, and the same story with 80s in the southeast for tomorrow and 60s in the great mountains of the Rockies.
Thanks, Taylor. But now we're going to take it out of the west and come back into the southeast for a more local look at our weather. Over Gainesville, Blacksburg, and Atlanta, and Bowling Green, pretty clear skies right now. So have some partly cloudy conditions, but really nice out. Looking to be a nice evening for you if you're planning on going out tonight. Current temperatures sitting at high to mid 80s in most of the southeast, with Tampa and Miami a bit warmer at 90 in Tampa and 83 in Miami. So once again, we're still seeing those warm temperatures. It is still hotter than a hairy farm Roma out there. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it cooling off, which we may see at the end of this week. Dew point 67 in Montgomery, 66 in Tallahassee, 66 in Tampa as well. So still seeing those muggy conditions on top of that heat, making for some really unenjoyable conditions, making it nothing like we would expect for fall and what we want for fall. Our national radar see those storms over to the west, where that severe weather is going on tonight and later on until tomorrow. But over here in Florida, some pretty clear skies. Looking at some rain coming through down in Miami. But overall, pretty nice night. Just make sure you're keeping an eye on the radar, because here we see storms coming through Miami, pushing over towards Fort Myers, hopefully moving out by the end of the night. So if you're planning on going out, make sure you just take a quick look at the radar to make sure you're not going to get rained on your way out. As for our rainfall forecast here in Florida, see some rainfall looking at 3 to 5 inches, 5 to 7 inches maybe in some parts of South Florida, decreasing as you get farther up in the state because we're not going to have a whole lot of rainfall right now. But the rain does continue as those low pressure systems continue to move their way towards the east, where we may begin to see a little bit of a front Friday coming into Saturday, cooling off our temperatures a little bit, 76 in Tallahassee on Sunday, 86 in Tampa, and 83 in Miami, so seeing slightly cooler temperatures. Hopefully that'll cool us off a little bit, and it'll definitely drop those dew points to help us cool off and have some more enjoyable fall conditions, especially if you're planning out with Halloween coming up to go take some Halloween pictures. Our lows tonight, 65 in Tallahassee, so we are cooling off a little bit from what we saw this summer, but still not as low as some people would hope for. 75 in Tampa, 76 in Miami. Up north more looking at 69 and 64 as well, up in Little Rock and Nashville. So we will see those drop, looking at lows in the 50s for next week. For Thursday, for tomorrow, we have 87 in New Orleans, 87 in Tallahassee, 92 in Tampa. Again, another hot day for our region. Hopefully we can see that start to clear and get some nicer conditions for fall in the next few days. I'm going to turn things over to Evan to take a look at our lifestyle forecast.
That's right. Thanks, Melissa. So looking at these cameras right now, it really looks like a gorgeous day out there. I would love to be at St. George Island right now, just relaxing at the beach. It looks like a gorgeous shot right there. Maybe to turn the camera around a little bit, a nice sunset will be in the future there. So it's really been a nice day around the whole area today, including over Doak Campbell Stadium right now. The sun's starting to set. We'll be setting within the next hour or so here. Looks like a great night to be outdoors. As for the airport delays, really unlikely around here, especially for the next few days. No real rain threat coming in here until the first half of the weekend. A slight chance of a thunderstorm on Saturday, but really not much to worry about. And especially across the majority of the country, our major airports not experiencing that many delays. But the one place to watch tonight will be in the heartland of the country in Kansas and Oklahoma. That will be the area to watch for those airport delays. As for the dog walk forecast for tomorrow around our Tallahassee, really a great morning to walk your dog. Nice and comfy, 66, but the temperature will warm up as the day goes on, as you can expect around here with the daytime heating. If you plan on working out this week at the Leach, temperatures won't be this warm inside the Leach. It'll be nice and air conditioned, but if you're planning on walking out to the gym, it will be quite steamy and hot the next couple days, but cooling off as we go towards the weekend with that cold front eventually pushing in here the second half of the weekend, really bringing our temperatures down with highs in the upper 70s and lows in the 50s. And we have baseball again this weekend, this Saturday at 2 o'clock at Dick Hauser Field on campus at Florida State. We're playing Jacksonville this Saturday. Should be a good game. So that would be a good place to get outside this weekend. As for the rest of the school week, those temperatures are staying very consistent, 88 all 3 days of the rest of the week, including Saturday. But that temperatures will begin to drop as we go into the second half of the weekend, with lows sitting very comfortably in the mid to upper 60s. And now I'm going to pass things off to the desk where Melissa has an update on severe weather.
Thanks, Evan. We have a lot of things going on over in the Midwest right now, looking at potentially severe weather into tonight and possibly into tomorrow morning. Moderate risk for Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, looking at severe weather coming in. For our severe storm outlook, looking at an enhanced risk that includes Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, as well as a moderate risk for those states as well in a larger area. So definitely a thing to look out for. There's a chance for hail, strong winds, and tornadoes as we go into tonight. Those tornadoes range from EF2 to EF5 with winds or gusts of 57 miles per hour or greater, and chance for hail with a 1-inch diameter or larger. So definitely can be a potentially dangerous situation that you have to look out for. So We're going to keep monitoring the situation as during our show tonight. Make sure you stay up to date, especially once it gets dark out, because it can get quite difficult to see those tornadoes at night. You really need to be aware of what's going on and what may be coming into your area. And as for the severe evening ahead, we're looking at that future radar. We can see those supercells starting to pop up in the south and building and moving their way towards the northeast. See that line of storms developing into tonight and tomorrow morning. Once again, since it's going to be dark out, it's going to be early in the morning. Just make sure you're staying up to date. Make sure you have your alerts turned on your phone and you're aware of what's coming, because that's a potentially dangerous situation if you're sleeping and you can't get any notifications that a tornado's coming. You don't want to be stuck in your home, unable to get to safety in time. So just make sure you have either a radio going, your alerts on your phone, so that you can hear it and it'll wake you up. And just monitor the situation as we go through tonight. Keep yourself safe. It's definitely not a night to go out. Flash flooding isn't a huge risk, but it is something that we will have to look out for as well. If you're in a low-lying area or your area is particularly well known for flash flooding, make sure you're just keeping an eye out. If you see the water starting to rise, make sure you have a plan of how to get out before it's too late. See that rainfall, looking at 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches in some areas, and possibly even more. Some dangerous situations to look out for. As I said, we're going to look more into it. There was a tornado warning going on earlier. I'm pretty sure that is still in effect until midnight tonight. But we're going to take a closer look at that. What's going on out there right now, Chandler, in the Midwest?
Thank you, that's right. We'll take a look closer into Oklahoma and what is currently popping off in about southwest Oklahoma. For those that are wondering, this is Oklahoma to my left, and over here in the southern part is Texas. So this is that border where you expect it to start getting its way towards that panhandle. But yes, so right now we have this nice little supercell that's starting to develop, and of course it's currently kind of developing in between a few population centers, so that is a bright spot. At least we'll expect to see better conditions for Hollis. Right now, at least, it's developing quite to its east, but as we look at later on this evening, we can really expect that these storms will start to develop into these supercells like Melissa was saying. And what a supercell really is it's a storm that has a lot of wrapping to it. It has a lot of this twist, and it is very conducive for hail and for tornadoes. You can see that twist in the southern part of the storm. This one does not have that twist yet, but whenever those twists do develop, it can definitely spawn off a tornado, and it can definitely be a dangerous situation, particularly at night. So like Melissa was saying, make sure you have a shelter in mind that you can head to if you're on one of these severe thunderstorm warnings or in a tornado warning. But yes, so right now we're looking at this one cell in particular that is a quite interesting little guy, but whenever you start to look at closer to other storms later on this evening, you can expect them to start looking like this before they rapidly intensify into these supercells. But even still, you can see that it's still producing a moderately strong amount of rain in a small area. And you can start to see a little bit of that hook, but it's not there yet, and you won't expect to see that until later on this evening. But once we start to see those storms form like this, you can expect that this southern end will start to create a little twist, and that is usually a signal that we can expect some severe weather. So this is something to keep in mind for tonight, and we'll be taking a look at that on FSU Weather if you guys would like to tune in on YouTube later on this evening. But for that, we'll leave it at that, and we'll go to Melissa to take a look at Florida.
That's right, Chandler. Taking a look back at our Sunshine State. Not seeing that severe weather we're seeing out west. Currently, pretty sunny conditions across much of the state. Rainfall coming through in some of these south parts of Florida, but overall looking like it's going to be a pretty nice night here in Florida to go out and enjoy the sunset, watch the sunset on the beach, just have a fun night out. As for the Panhandle, once again, pretty clear skies, some little blips popping up, but that's mostly from radar interference, not actual rainfall. So again, really clear night if you want to go out to St. Mark's, go see the sunset, enjoy your night. And in Panama City Beach right now, 81 degrees and partly cloudy. But once again, that sunset, it's going to be beautiful out. might be a great opportunity to go out and take some pictures. If you do get some, make sure you send them in here to the show. We'll be sure to use them. Looking at the bigger Big Bend area, much of the same thing. No real showers coming through, a few popping up over in central Florida. And moving over to the east a bit more, still seeing those showers popping up here and there. Overall, nothing really bad to look out for. Just make sure you may want to check the radar before you go out. Make sure you're not going to get stuck in any quick showers or have an umbrella handy. So if you do get stuck in one of the showers that manages to pop up. Over in Gainesville, currently 81 degrees and scattered showers with a little bit of a breeze coming through. So also shaping up to be a nice night in Gainesville as well. South Florida, that's where we start seeing some of the rainfall. Seeing some of those showers that have moved through Boca Raton and Miami, moving towards Marco Island and Fort Myers, hopefully moving out before the sunset tonight so you can have some nice time outside. And in Miami, currently 83 degrees and partly cloudy with a little bit stronger of a wind coming through, but those skies are clearing up as that rainfall has made its way out. Looking at another nice night again in the South Florida. Current temperature is 90 degrees in Tampa and 85 in Tallahassee, 83 in Key West, so another warm day out. It's not going to change within the next few days. Hopefully by the end of the week, northern Florida will begin to see some cooler temperatures, but South Florida is still going to be seeing those warm temperatures, isn't going to quite make it down there. Current dew points, of course, are not helping us out right now. 71 in Miami, 66 in Tampa, and 65 in Tallahassee. Looking at muggy conditions, I know when I walked out today, my hair frizzed right out. Not so really enjoyable for this time of year. But for tonight in Florida, 78 in Key West, 74 in Fort Myers, and 67 in Tallahassee. So seeing cooler temperatures tonight and moving into tomorrow, back into those warm temperatures, 85 in Key West, 91 in Fort Myers, and 88 in Tallahassee. Again, hopefully cooling off this weekend to give us some nicer fall conditions when you go out to take those pictures. But now we're going to hand things off to Evan with a look at our local forecast.
That's right. Thanks, Melissa. So I'm going to start off with another live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. And since I spoke to you guys last, the temperature has not changed really. It's still 85 degrees, partly cloudy. But that sun looks real nice over Doak Campbell Stadium. So it should be a beautiful sunset if you like to get out there and watch it. So definitely something you would be an opportunity to take advantage of tonight. Temperature almanac for today, slightly above average today, got up to 88 on the afternoon, and started off with a low of 65, both of which were, again, above average for today, but nowhere near our records of 93 and 39 set back in 2000. That's really chilly, but we'll start seeing those temperatures as we get into the months of December. Hour by hour today, we did start off, as I said, in the mid to upper 60s, and we did work our way all the way up to 86 around 3 or 4 o'clock, probably get up to 88 in between those hours, but still a rather warm day for this time of the year. Tallahassee radar not showing much at all, some scattered showers south of us and east towards the peninsula, but not much to talk about on the radar. Most of the action will be just above my head there in Oklahoma and Kansas tonight, and some showers down the coast towards southern Florida as well. As for the future radar, again, not much to talk about, just some scattered clouds as we go throughout the night. Generally clear conditions, letting temperatures sink down into the mid-60s as we go throughout tonight, and the clouds will return for tomorrow as well, but not much to talk about in the way of rainfall. Current temperatures generally sitting in the mid to even upper 80s as we go down the coast, even 79 as we head up towards Thomasville. Tonight's lows generally sitting in the mid to upper 60s, even 70s down the coast as that marine influence helps boost their temperatures. And as tonight in Tallahassee, 65, partly cloudy, a great night to get outside tonight, and tomorrow's highs generally sitting in the mid to upper 80s. Dog walk forecast tomorrow, a great day to get out there and walk your dog, very comfortable temperatures, maybe a little hot as we get out there in the afternoon. But as for the week ahead, generally staying hot at the beginning of the week, but cooling off as we get to the second part of the weekend. So definitely a huge relief around here.
That's right, Evan. But moving out of Tallahassee and over to Dodge City, where we're seeing some of that severe weather going on right now. So we're going to take a closer look at one of those cities that's being impacted by this. Dodge City currently 67 degrees, surrounding areas sitting in the 70s, some in the 60s as well, with some gusty conditions coming through, again because of those storms coming through that you're going to need to look out for that potentially dangerous situation as those storms develop and continue to move through the area. Dew points a bit lower than we're seeing here in Florida, 57 in Greensboro, 56 in Dodge City, 57 in Liberal. So looking at lower dew points, helping make those conditions a little more enjoyable, but the storms are completely ruining that. We have that tornado watch right now over much of the surrounding area, and that is in effect until 12 a.m. this morning or tonight. And storms are going to continue to develop. See Wichita, those storms continuing to pop up and move towards the northeast. So again, you're going to have to look out for that. It's potentially dangerous situation. SPC has it listed as a moderate outlook for Oklahoma, Nebraska, and portions of Texas as well, with an enhanced over a much larger area surrounding that region as well. So that includes tornado formation, hail, and strong winds that could cause damage to your home. Make sure you're staying safe and you're on the lookout for whatever is to come. And as for tomorrow, those outlooks are going to be moving out, hopefully clearing up conditions and giving everyone a break from the severe weather, looking at better conditions. As for our future radar, looking at storms coming through once again, so that moving out and giving clear conditions tomorrow to hopefully look out for in the next day. As for tonight, 60 degrees with 80% chance of thunderstorms. And looking into the next 3 days, Wednesday 67, Thursday 67, and Friday 60 as well. So temperatures will be cooling off as we move into this weekend or this week. But Chandler, that's all we have for severe weather right now, but people definitely need to keep a lookout for what's to come later tonight.
Absolutely. Such a dangerous situation. Nighttime severe weather is not a great setup. Of course, those in Dodge City, you guys can look forward to some better temperatures come this weekend, and hopefully we'll see that here in Tallahassee. But yes, the main story is with tonight, seeing that severe weather and the potential for some possible nighttime tornadoes. Of course, it's a serious situation. We focused on Dodge City because that is one of the bigger areas to look for potential severe weather, and it's a quite dangerous situation indeed. Dodge City is home to the National Weather Service there in that local region, so it is something to take a look at if you are filing a storm report. Looking up NWS Dodge City would be a great source for information. Follow us on Twitter, though, at twitter.com/FSU weather, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU weather. And watch us live on YouTube, especially tonight, youtube.com/FSU weather. And follow us on Instagram at FSU weather. We'd like to see those photos. But now we'll swing things over to the wall to take another look at that 7-day real quick.
That's right. Thanks, Chandler. So just a quick recap for you guys. Over the next few days, generally staying in the mid to upper 80s until the end of the work week this week. Lows generally in the mid to upper 60s, so quite comfortable. And as we get into the weekend, temperatures will start to cool off with that cold front coming through, with highs sitting in the upper 70s as we go throughout the weekend, and lows in the mid 50s. So starting off for now, I'm student meteorologist Evan Regan, and have a great night.